So we knew that the price and the quantity demanded will have the connection. As per the changes in the price of the commodity, there will be impact in the quantity demanded also, right? And we saw various magnitude of changes in the quantity demanded with respect to the price, right? Unitary, more than unitary, less than unit, infinite, and nil. So these are the 5 variants we have seen in the previous classes. Now, if the price being 10 and the quantity demanded being 10 units, price being in terms of rupees, quantity demanded may be in terms of units. If the price increases from 10 to 12, quantity demanded also increases from 10 units to probably same 12 or more than that. So probably I assume this is being 14. Is that okay? The check decreases, right? Price increases, quantity demanded decreases. Or I'll make it in the other way. Price decreases, quantity demanded increases. 14. Isn't it? Now, how much the quantity demanded gets affected due to the change in price? We can do this way. Almost there is a change in 2 rupees from the base of 10. It means 20% change is there. What is the change in percentage? 20%. And similarly, when it comes to the quantity, the change in quantity being 4 from the base of 10. That's a 40% change in quantity demanded. Otherwise, in case of price, there's decrease in price. In case of quantity demanded, increase in price. Now, what is the elasticity of demand with respect to price? What is the elasticity of demand? Elasticity of demand with respect to price. That may be noted this way, EP subscript P. The change in quantity demanded should be in the numerator, and the change in the price will be the denominator. So the answer being 2, you are aware about the quantity demanded changes being in terms of plus, but in case of price it's minus. So naturally it's minus 2, but usually we never bother about the signs here. Okay, in case of elasticity of price, we never bother about this. If it is minus, it represents that it has inverse proportion or indirect relationship. There is a relationship between the price and quantity demanded, but that relationship is not direct, it's indirect, inverse relationship. But anyway, we will not mean about this one. So we just go and compare only the elasticity of demand with respect to the price only in terms of number 2. So as it is being 2, this is more than unitary elasticity. There is elasticity. Okay, elasticity. Unitary elasticity, more than unitary, less than unitary, and infinity as well as nil. This is more than 1 unity. Okay, more than 1. Now, what are the things I spoke here can be put in the formula form? Okay, how? Let's see here. The 2 is nothing but change in the 40. This 40 is coming from this one, right? 4 is nothing but change in quantity demanded. Or otherwise, this is nothing but percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Am I right? 40 is nothing but what? Percentage change in quantity demanded, and 20 is nothing but it's equivalent to percentage change in price. This is EP. This is EP. Percentage change in quantity demanded is how much? Percentage change in quantity demanded 40%. How did you get it? change in quantity demanded, I name this being only Q, divided by base quantity, and when it comes for the percentage change in price, in the numerator change in price will be taken, change in price, and from the base of that being P. Or you can rewrite this way, change in quantity divided by quantity multiplied by P by change in price. So in simple, in case of price elasticity and a percentage change method, we can directly get this way, change in quantity divided by quantity into P by quantity change. Okay, price change. The formula is derived this way. This is the derivation of the formula. And I just illustrated without any formula here. It's just simply a logic. Elasticity of demand is nothing but percentage change in quantity demanded with respect to the variables. Variables is nothing but determinants. So what are the demand determinants are there? Price of the commodity, income of the consumer, price of the related commodity, price the amount spent for advertisement. N number of factors we have already seen, no? So because of the changes in those factors, what could be the changes in the quantity demanded will be studied in elasticity of demand. But anyhow, we will be confining ourselves with price elasticity and income elasticity as well as price of the related commodities impact. The price of the related commodities impact is now named as cross elasticity. So these are the three aspects I am going to cover here. And before we go further, in price elasticity, we have four dimensions of understanding. Now we start with the percentage change method, but now I have given the formula and its derivation and an imaginary number for the understanding, these three. And the variance will be discussed now. You just make a copy of this. Make it. Is that okay? And suddenly, if the price decreases from 12 to 10, the quantity demanded is increasing from 0 to 2 because of the decrease in prices and quantity demanded increases, right? So these two are inversely related as per the law of demand. And then the price decreases from 10 to 8, then the quantity demanded increases from 2 to 4 and vice versa, right? Now I want to find out the elasticity of demand for each and every point. What could be the elasticity of demand at the point A? This demand schedule is plotted and made as a demand curve here. When the price is 12, the quantity demanded is 0. So this will be here. When the price decreases to 10, the quantity demanded increases to 2. So this is here. Point C. So point B. In point C, the price is 8 and quantity demanded is 4, right? 4 and 8. That's how it goes on. Hopes you could understand the link. Each and every dot represents a point. This is named as point A. It's an imaginary number. So we ourselves give the name here, A. Now, my question is all about what is the elasticity of demand with respect to the price at the point A. As well as you have to carry on calculating for the other points also. Elasticity of demand with respect to the price at point A. Okay. Beforehand, we are aware about the formula for elasticity of demand with respect to the price. Change in quantity divided by quantity multiplied by price divided by change in price. At point A, change in quantity is 0 to 2, right? So in numerator 2, in quantity, existing quantity being 0, multiplied by price by change in price. Price is the base price. If we talk about the point A and then the price applicable at that point will be taken as a base, and it moves to 10 means there is a change by 2 rupees. So in numerator 12 and denominator it's 2. So the answer being 12 by 0, what's that? Infinity. And let me go for calculating the elasticity of demand at the point B. At point B, what happens? The quantity changes from 10 to 8. So the change in quantity demanded being 2 from the base being 10 multiplied by the price. The base price is 2 and from there it changes to 4, means the change in price is 2. So 2 by 2. The ultimate value being, so I made a mistake once again. Yeah. Change in quantity being 2, base quantity is 2 and the price existing 10 and divided by change in price is 2. Okay, good. You have given me the answer correctly. Fine. Okay. So goes on. Now let me calculate for the point G. In case of point G, how do I get it? In case of point G, okay, change in quantity, we don't have the other ways, but we can go this way, right? So from 12 to 10, the change in quantity being 2 from the base being 12 multiplied by the price applicable to that point and change in the price, right? So price applicable to that point is 0 divided by change in price being 2. So the answer being 0 by 12 is nothing but 0. Is that okay? Hope so you could now understand. So in the previous lecture I have given that price elasticity could be calculated under 4 methods. 4 methods. One is percentage change method. As per the percentage change method, the elasticity of demand can be calculated for any point in the demand curve. So this is being the demand curve. Okay, starting with the small t and ends with the capital T, right? So small t and capital T. That small t to capital T represents the demand curve here. In the demand curve for any point, if I want to calculate what is the elasticity of price, then I can apply this formula directly. We get the answer for all the points already now. I just calculated here and posted here. Come on, make a note of it. So we have now completed the point elasticity, especially percentage change method. Percentage change method. So this is over. Now my question is all about, I don't want to get the elasticity of price to this point or this point or this point. I need to know the elasticity of demand with respect to the price between these 2 points. Between these 2 points. Okay. That will be called as arc elasticity method. Arc. This is an arc, right? A small line is an arc. So I want to know the elasticity of demand for this arc. Okay. So this arc represents B and C arc. I need to know what is the elasticity of demand for B and C arc. Okay. Elasticity of demand with respect to the price for B and C arc. This one. In percentage change method, you will either calculate the elasticity of demand for point B or point C, but not between B and C. I want to know the elasticity of demand between B and C. How? See, normally in elasticity of demand, the formula being change in quantity divided by quantity into price divided by change in price. Am I right? Now, the same formula will be adapted here. The change in quantity being 2 to 4. It means 2. So, change in quantity is the same way. Divided by quantity. Now the question is that quantity for B or quantity for C will be taken? Which one will be taken? So if it is point B, means we can take the 2 as the answer. If the point being C, then we can take the quantity being 4. But it's in between these two, then it's better to take the average of these two. So Q1 plus Q2 by 2. You can take this way. Is that okay? So the denominator gets slightly changed. It's not 1 Q, it's 2 Qs, and take the average of that. Similarly, price also we can take the average of these two. So we can name this one, the first one being the price first and second will be the price second. So P1 plus P2 divided by 2. That's how we can take. Divided by change in price. Then the 2 will be by default cancelled. Okay. So then the ultimate formula here being change in quantity divided by Q1 plus Q2 into P1 plus P2 divided by change in price. Now for B and C, the answer being change in quantity 2 and Q1 being 2, Q2 being 4 multiplied by P1 being 10 plus P2 being 8 divided by change in price being 2. Yes, come on, get me the ultimate value here. Hope this is 3. Same way we can calculate for all the arc possible here. A and B, B and C, C and D, D and E, E and F, F and G. We get the elasticity of price anywhere between 11. For the arc A and B, the elasticity of price will be 11, and in F and G, the elasticity of price is 0.17. So now we have completed arc method as well as change method. Come on, make a note of it. In demand curve, this is point A, this is point B, this is point C, this is point D, this is point E, this is point F, this is point G. Now, this is point D, right? What is the elasticity of demand at point D under percentage change method? We have already found out, which is 1. Am I right? Now, we can use the point method also here. Point method. Just think over, this is the point. For this, we have to find out the elasticity of demand with respect to the price. How do I get it? And what is the length of the demand curve from that point to the bottom? Can we measure the length this way? 1, 2, 3. 3 length. Similarly, this is the bottom. For the top, again, how many length we have? 1, 2, 3. Are the length in the bottom and length in the upper more or less same? Length in the bottom should be in the numerator. Length in the upper should be the denominator. That will be the elasticity of demand. So simple. So from this, it is very clear in a straight line demand curve. We have seen in the previous classes the demand curve way could be this way. But definitely this way is not possible. But to make you understand some logic and the concepts, I have given the straight line demand curve. In case of straight line demand curve, elasticity of demand with respect to the price is equal to 1 at the midpoint. That can be found out. So this is the point you have to keep in your mind. In subsequent learning, we will use this, right? At the midpoint, the elasticity of price should always be equal to 1. Always equal to 1. That can be calculated under point elasticity method this way. Upper segment in the lower segment in the numerator and upper segment in the denominator. If I want to calculate this place, okay, this is okay, right? So we have done this. Here it is 1, am I right? And what happens in this point? In this point, okay, in this point, the lower segment being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the lower segment has 5 length. In the upper segment we have 1 length, and the answer being 5. So the point B we already calculated being 5. The same answer will be getting in point method also. In point method, lower segment should be the numerator and bottom or upper segment should be the denominator. As already I told you here, the TT. Okay, in demand curve, the bottom ends with the capital T and in the upper it starts with small t. For whatever the point, if you want to calculate the elasticity of demand, whatever the point, maybe probably this point. Okay, so the formula being elasticity of demand with respect to the price at this point is equal to lower segment, otherwise this point is named as R, means R to capital T should be the numerator and R to small t will be the denominator. Okay. So then the answer being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and here being 1. So 5 by 1, the answer being 1. And if I want to calculate this point, okay, 5, okay. And if I want to calculate this point, what happens? The lower segment, this is the R point, and from R to capital T, 6 length is there, on R to small t, 0 length is there, and it may be infinity. So we get it that. Is that okay? That's how we can get all these values. Clear? And in this place, okay, RT, capital T, divided by R small t, otherwise lower segment in the numerator and upper segment should be the denominator. The lower segment is at the 0th point, so 0 divided by 6, the answer being 0. So we can very easily get the elasticity of demand and with respect to the price under point elasticity method. The formula for the point elasticity method here is this one. What is that? RT divided by R small t. Otherwise, lower segment in the top and upper segment is in the bottom. And from the demand curve, it's very easy to understand the elasticity of price in a much better way. At the exact midpoint, elasticity of demand is equal to 1. Okay. And any point above the midpoint will have more than one elasticity of demand. And at the exact top, this will be infinity. And below the midpoint up to the last one, the answer should be less than 1. At this point, it should be 0. Is that okay? So in a demand curve, exactly at the midpoint, especially the demand curve should be straight line. In that case, the exact midpoint will be equal to 1. More above that will be called as more than 1 elasticity. Bottom will be less than 1 elasticity. The extreme top, the point where it touches to price axis, y axis, it will be infinity. In x axis, it will be 0. So I have explained all these things with the calculations also here in point method. Come on, make a note of it. And you have to mark this also. It's very important, right? Percentage change method, point elasticity method, arc method. Now let me explain the total outlay method here. Let's see price and quantity demanded. Price and quantity demanded. If the price is 10, quantity demanded being 10. Okay. If the price are 100, this is 100. You just think over this way. If the price decreases to 90, quantity demanded increases to 105. 105. Okay. What is the elasticity of demand here? What is the elasticity of demand? Yeah. Elasticity of demand with respect to the price. In general, we have to consider this one only, percentage change method. The other methods are rarely used. Unless specifically stated, you don't touch that. So you have to depend on only on percentage change method. Change in quantity divided by quantity into price by change in price. Change in quantity being 5 and quantity being 100. Price being 100 divided by change in quantity. So change in price being 10. So 0.5. What is this? Okay, it's less than unitary elastic. Less than unit. Less than unit. Less than 1. Is there any elasticity available here or not? Okay. Elasticity is there. Elasticity is there, but it is less than 1. Mild elasticity. Okay. Now, my question is, if you are being the seller or if you are being involving selling of this commodity, if you are aware about this status means if the price is decreasing from 100 to 90, you can sell quantity to 105 rather than 100. Will you be happy or not? You are selling more quantity. Being the seller, if you are selling more quantity, will you be happy or not? You think over what is your collection beforehand. The collection beforehand was 10,000. The collection after the price change is only 9,450. Are you happy? Then what is the meaning of reducing the price? By reducing the price, there should be increase in revenue in total at least, not the number of units you are supposed to increase. I never mind this one. I mind about the total revenue change. So the price change will have the impact on the total revenue or total outlay. By the consumer's angle, it's an outflow. In the seller's angle, it's a revenue. So we can either name this being total revenue or total outlay. In both the way we can understand. So this method is named as total outlay method. If the price decrease is there, unless there is a change in revenue means it should be this way. Okay, 100, this should be 120. It means earlier it was 10,000, now 120 into 90, this will be 10,800. Am I right? Then it is happiest one for the seller, and definitely there is an impact in the revenue. Definitely there is impact in the outlay because of reducing the sales price. Or it may be this way. Okay. Earlier also 10,000, now also 10,000. Earlier also 10,000, now also 10,000. Okay. I won't compare the price change with the quantity demanded. I compare price change with the total outlay or total revenue. In the very first instant, because of reducing the price, really there is no increase in the outlay. Right? The customer should be willing to pay or spend more than the amount what they expect to spend. They came with the 10,000 rupees for spending, but they spend only 9,450 means what does it mean? Sellers are unhappy. Buyer is now saving the money. Of course, he is not happy to spend more than 10,000 rupees, though the price is decreasing. So, this will be called inefficiency. This is called inefficiency or inelasticity. Inelasticity. And in this scenario, in this second scenario, of course, because of reducing the price, total outlay is increasing, then it is elastic. This is elastic. And what happens in the last scenario? Okay, because of the change in price, there is no change in the overall outlay. So, this is called unit elasticity. Such a way we will compare the price with the total revenue or total outlay under price elasticity, especially total outlay method. So, change in total outlay divided by total outlay into price by change in price. Actually, you no need to understand this formula. This formula is not required. You can understand the full value only. Let's see here. Price decreases from 10 to 8. Quantity increases from 1000 to 1250. Natural. So, there is elasticity of demand available for this. Yes. But I need to compare the total outlay. I won't care about the quantity demanded. There's a change in price. What about the outlay change? Sir, though the price decreases, there is no change in the outlay. It means there is exactly unitary elasticity of price. This is called unitary. If the price increases from 8 to 10, we never mind about the quantity demanded. Quantity demanded decreases. As the quantity demanded decreases, naturally it is there is elasticity of demand. But I won't compare this one. I will compare the total outlay. The total outlay remains same, then it is also unitary. And price decreases from 8 to 10 to 8, but quantity demanded increases from 1000 to 1500, similar to the normal law of demand logic. But never mind about this. Compare the total outlay. Because of decreasing, of course, total outlay is increasing. Then definitely there is more than unitary elasticity available. And if the price increases, never mind about the quantity demanded, but mind about the total outlay. This is increasing and outlay is also decreasing. Increase of one decreases the other one, definitely there is an elasticity, that to unitary. And the price is decreasing from 10 to 8. Quantity demanded also increases naturally. Quantity demanded increases as per the law of demand. Price decreases, quantity demanded increases. But I never bother about the quantity demanded. I bother about the total outlay. But in case of total outlay, it's an inverse. Price also decreases, total outlay also decreases. Okay, then I don't care that there is definitely influence in the quantity demanded because of the price change. So it's not having means elasticity or less than unitary. Okay, and then the price increases leads to increase in outlay, inverse way. Law of demand is not working, then it is called less unitary. Okay, such a way we can compare in total outlay method. Elastic or not only is calculated under elasticity of price, especially total outlay method. We never bother about the magnitude, exactly 5%, 6% or less than 1.52. Such a way we will not be able to calculate here. We will not be able. And the drawback of here is the exact coefficient of price elasticity is not available. What is elasticity of price with respect to the quantity demanded? Okay, elasticity of demand with respect to the price. Under normal method, we can call this being 1.253, but here we cannot calculate the exact number. That's a drawback. So the relationship between the price elasticity or price and total revenue. Total revenue can be equated with the total outlay also. The total outlay is the consumer's angle, total revenue is the supplier's angle. And price increase, which scenario? This scenario, price increase. Price increase, but the total outlay remains same, means what is that? Unitary. Price increase, but total revenue remains same, means unitary elastic. Price increase, but the total revenue decreases, then it is more than unitary. Price increase, total revenue decreases, then more than unitary or elastic. Price increase and total outlay also increases. Inverse, there is no elastic, so inelastic. This is called inelastic. And price decrease, there is no change in total outlay, it means unitary. This one. So price decrease, unitary elastic. Price decrease, but total outlay increases. Okay, then it is called more than unitary. Price decrease, the total revenue increases, then more than unit, otherwise elastic. Price decrease, but the total outlay also decreases. This is also decreasing and this is also decreasing, then it is called inelastic. This is the summary. I have proven this with the number. Actually this number is to make you understand. You don't need to memorize this. In the text also I have not seen any illustration this way. This is coined by myself only. But in the text, the entire theory related to the total outlay explained in detail is put in the form of numbers, so that will be usually easy to understand. And then the main point to be kept in your mind for one word answer is this one, drawback, and this forward. Okay, come on, make a note of it. Let's discuss determinants of price elasticity of demand. In the previous class, we have seen determinants of demand. Determinants of demand is different. Determinants of price elasticity of demand is different. Okay, in determinants of demand, how far the determinants of demand will influence the quantity demanded? Probably price of the commodity. The change in the price of the commodity will influence the quantity demanded also, but inversely, right? And income of the consumers and the price of the related commodity and all. But here I am going to deal with the determinants of price elasticity of demand. Okay, price elasticity could be 0 to infinity. Am I right? 0 to infinity 1, 0, infinity, unitary, and less than unitary, more than unitary. Now the question is, which one influences that the quantity price elasticity of demand being this one or this one or this one or anywhere between these two? The elasticity of demand with respect to the price is higher. Why? No, it's moderate. Then what may be the reason? And it's lesser. And what could be the reason? That will be studied under determinants of demand. So I'm going to discuss around 9 angles here. Let me start with the first one. Availability of substitute. Availability of substitute. If the availability of substitute is higher and elasticity of demand with respect to the price is high. If it is being low, and this will also be low. For example, price of 1 liter of petrol being 100, quantity demanded is how much? Quantity demanded is how much? Assume that 1 lakh liters, 1 lakh liter. If the price increases to 110, what could be the change in quantity demanded? What could be the change in quantity demanded of petrol? This is all about petrol. Okay. We reduce the number of kilometers driven. We use the vehicles only for the needed purpose, right? So as the price is increasing. But naturally, there will be very lesser impact, 99,500 only. Very lesser impact. Or sometimes it may not be. Then when it comes for the tea, price of tea being 10, quantity demanded per month being 100. If the price is 20, what happens then? The quantity demanded being only 30 or 40, because immediately shift yourself to coffee. Isn't it? But in the case of change in the price of petrol, will you shift to some other things? Can you use a kerosene inside the petrol tank? No. You cannot change the, rather than consuming the petrol to diesel? No. Because there is no substitute product. Though the price increases, we have to depend on purchasing the same product. Otherwise, how can we drive my car? If the substitutes are available more, then we can comfortably substitute, else we don't substitute. So, if the substitutes are available in high, then immediately even small change in the price will have a greater impact, because immediately we'll shift to the next one. But if we don't have a substitute, and what's the use because of shifting? We cannot shift. We have to depend on that same product. So, the availability of substitutes is low means the elasticity of price of that commodity will also be lower. So, here the elasticity of price will be very low. Here it is very high. Isn't it? That's the first aspect. And second one is position of commodity in consumer's budget. Position of a commodity in a consumer budget. If it is being greater or lesser. Okay. Now, you consume rice. Without rice, you cannot live, right? So, you have to depend on rice. Almost in your food spending, closer to 50% you spend for rice, right? If you are spending around 10,000 rupees in a month for food, out of that for rice alone you spend around 5,000 rupees. In case of salt, you spend just 50 rupees. 50 rupees. If the rice increases by 10%, salt increases by 10%. Which is the matter for you? Increase of rice will be a matter because it reduces your savings by 500. In case of salt, 10% is only 5. Even the salt price increases from 50 to 100, you never mind about. Sir, no problem, sir, I can manage. But if the rice is double, or if the rice price increases by 50%, that's a matter. That's a matter. Now, where is your position as per your consumer's budget? Greaters are like clothing, and more important thing, salt, matches, button, matchbox. So small value. You never mind about that. If the commodity having a low impact in your consumer budget, so you never mind about the price elasticity. Whether the price increases or decreases doesn't matter. Will not have impact, low impact. If it is being the greater, then it will have the high impact. If the rice is changing to 100%, you thought about shifting to wheat or some millets like, to reduce the purchasing or spending the money for that. Right. Third one, nature of the need that the commodity satisfies. Is it a luxury need or normal goods? Food being the normal goods. Without food, you cannot survive. Right? Whether the price increases or decreases doesn't matter, you have to purchase it. What happens in Sri Lanka? Almost 300 or 400 rupees per loaf of bread sometimes when the food was in crisis. 300 rupees or 400 rupees. Usually 20 rupees matters. The 20 rupees bread loaf went up to 300 rupees. Yet to be purchased. You just think over the gold. 1 gram 5,000 rupees. Now it's 5 lakhs. Never bother, we don't purchase. So the gold is for a luxury commodity. If it is increasing the price, we never bother. We immediately stop purchasing. If the price increases, immediately we will stop purchasing. We will wait for later. Quantity demanded will be higher. But in the case of bread and other necessaries, medicinal product, price increases. No way you have to depend on you. Just purchase that. So elasticity of price will be very, very lesser. Here the price increases from, in this case, price increases from 100 to 150. Quantity demanded decreases from 100 to 50. Sir, let the price may come down, sir, we'll purchase later. But this is food article. 100 rupees per bread loaf. You consume per day, one in a month, almost 30 loaf you consume. Okay, 30 loaf of bread. The price increases to 150. What you can do? Can you survive without eating? So no other way. So you try to reduce the wastages. Sometimes the bread may be wasted. Now you preserve that. So maybe gradually decreasing 28 loaf. At least 2 or 3 loaf you will reduce. So here the impact in quantity discount, quantity demanded will be lesser. Here quantity demanded will be having more impact. Because the luxury, this is normal. In luxury goods, the elastic will be higher. In normal goods, the elastic is lower. Inelastic, otherwise inelastic. Now, fourth, number of uses. Already I have discussed and mentioned this in another area, number of uses. If the product has more uses, the product being cheaper will be used for all the purposes. If the product becomes costlier, we start using only for important usage. For example, milk. Milk can be used for curd, cream, ghee, butter, and etc. and the cooking for all. But once it becomes very costly, you stop using for all these things. You stop consuming lavishly. You sparingly use where it is needed. Okay, probably it may be feed for the kid, then we will purchase only for feed, not for other purposes. So the price increase will greatly affects. Price decrease also greatly affects. Price decreases, purchase the milk. We can use it for all purpose. Even we can use it for taking bath. Sometimes, right? More uses. Less uses. Salt. We don't have any other option. Salt. Okay. So we cannot use it for all the purposes. Right, the salt becomes very cheaper. Sir, 1 kg salt is 100. Today it's only 5 rupees. Sir, what is the use of that? We won't go for that. So it has no other uses. So less users will have low elasticity of demand. More users will have more elasticity of demand. See, in this particular content, I am discussing and linking with respect to the price elasticities level with some factors. That factors will come under determinants. Now, the impact, price change impact is for short period or long period. If the price impact is for short period, okay, for an example, here it is so this way in case of petrol price hike. If the petrol is showing increasing trend with respect to the price, 100, 110, 120, suddenly it's 150. We are aware about that the price will be having this much only for short period, then automatically it will be corrected. It's in a demand. Because of war, we don't get the petrol. Sometimes later it may be resorted. So this price hike only for temporary reasons. Then for the temporary period, you just use lesser quantity. So you use your car only for a fewer trips rather than always using the car. And longer time means you will shift yourself from uh, petrol driven car to electrical driven car or some other alternate energy driven car. So you can shift there. That will be coming under change in car. It's also one of the factors to influence the price elasticity. Consumer habits inelastic. What happens in the case of smokers and alcohol? The price, whatever the tax levied, so it will not have any impact on the quantity demanded. It remains the same because it becomes the habit. Then habit is always inelastic. And the tide demand. Okay, demand for petrol is always linked with the demand for car. If car is sold a lot, definitely no other way we have to purchase the petrol price, whatever it may be, whatever the level of petrol price changes, no other way. So we have to pour the petrol for the car because the petrol's demand is tied with the car's demand. Car is in the need of ours, so we purchase the car or bike, whatever the transport vehicles we need to have, we purchased. Because of this reason, we have to depend on petrol. The demand for the petrol is tied with respect to the demand of the car. That will be always inelastic. Price range. If the price range is extremely high or extremely low, then the elasticity of demand should be inelastic or very lesser. If it is in a middle range, then it is elastic. So, for example, in case of high, gold and diamond. In case of low price, salt, butter, buttons, those things what you are not using in your home regularly. Middle price range, fast moving consumer goods. The things what you usually consume month after month will be coming under middle price range. If rice or soap that you start consuming regularly, showing some change in the price immediately will have impact in the quantity demand. If the rice price is offered at 50% discount, you start purchasing for 3 or 4 months rice today itself. Right. Gold price is increasing. What can we do? We don't do anything. There is an offer in gold price. We don't mind about that. Diamond. Okay. Diamond rupees 5 lakhs. Today, the last chance, you have to purchase it for 4 lakhs. How many of you are interested to go for that? Okay. Mobile phone, 5,000 rupees. If you purchase today, it's only 4,000. What do you do now? You will go for that. You try to shift yourself, right? So this will be having more impact. The price change in mobile phone will have more impact because the price range is moderate and which is in also need of the hour. So that will have more elastic. But in the case of diamond, it's not giving any temptation for you, so you will not go because the price is already exorbitant. Even the discount is also exorbitant for most of the people, right? In the case of low price like salt, of course, it's not in need. Okay, already 10 rupees. Now there's a discount to 8 rupees. 10 rupees itself is not a matter. Matchboxes. 10 rupees itself not a matter. That matchboxes today is offered at 8 rupees. Where is it available? It's available almost 5 kilometers away. Going to there and itself costs me 100 rupees or 200 rupees traveling. Why do I want to go for that to purchase this commodity for a 2 rupees saving? So it will not have any impact. Minor complementary items inelastic. Okay, cheap complementary items with the costlier product, right? Now see, complementary you can consume instead of that. Okay, now so that will be always being inelastic. Minor complementary items and cheap complementary items with costlier product. Android mobile as well as Apple iPhones, right? iMac or whatever it may be. If this is offered at this is offered with the cheaper, those people who are consuming the Apple may not shift because they addicted to that because it's a prestigious one and good items also for them. So they don't want to shift, though there is a change in the price of either this one or this one, right? That will also be inelastic. Okay, though there's a complementary, you can use either this laptop or that laptop, HP laptop or Apple laptop. Both the cases you can ship from here to there, but seems to be inferior, like, so you won't go for that. Determinants of price elasticity of demand. The magnitude of the quantity demanded, the change in the quantity demanded due to the change in these factors. If depending upon the availability of substitute and the position of the commodity in consumer's budget, as well as the want satisfaction, number of users, time period of such hike, consumer habit, tide demand, price range, and other items. These are the reasons for determining the price elasticity of demand. Okay, come on, make a note of it. Income elasticity. Change in income and change in quantity demanded. If income being 1 lakh, quantity demanded being 100 units. If the income being 1.5 lakhs, then quantity demanded could be 120 units, like. Okay. Now, this is called the relationship between income and quantity demanded is always what? Direct proportion. These two will have the direct relationship. Income also increases, quantity demanded also increases. Here, for the income elasticity, we will understand 3 propositions. See, let me explain this logic with an example. If my income is 10,000 rupees, I spend 4,000 rupees out of that for rent, 4,000 out of that for food and dress, 2,000 only for the recreation. Suddenly, sometimes later, my income increases from 10,000 to 12,000 rupees. My income increases from 10,000 to 12,000 rupees. Now, come on, tell me. Because of increase in income, where will you have this spending to go? If income increases, what will you do? Will you go to the property owner, house property owner? Sir, my salary increased by 20%, sir. I will pay 20% as extra rent from this month onwards, sir. Will you go for that? Definitely will not go. And what about the food and dress? What about the recreation? Earlier, I don't have the money. Now I have the money. I go for a movie once in a month. Now 4 times in a month. Right. So you spend more for the recreation, not for the food. That's the case you have to understand. As income increases, your spending proportion is not the same way. Here, rent may be moderately increasing. Probably you may go for a bit bigger house, or you can stay there itself, no problem. Either it may be 4,200 or simply 4,000 itself, naturally. And food and dress, you will now spend some decent food. So spend money for this decent food and quality dress. But most money will go for where? Recreation. This is the logic. It means in your total income, how much percentage you spend for rent? 40%. For food and dress, 40%. Recreation, 20%. Because of changing your income from 10,000 to 12,000 rupees, your proportion of your total income spent for the rent is only 35%. Earlier 40% means now also 40% should be how much? 3,000, but how much? 40%, 4,800. But you don't spend that. But in the food and dress, it remains the same 40. But your spending for recreation increases to 25%. So when it comes for the income elasticity, rather than dealing in this angle directly, we understand with the 3 propositions. It means percentage of spending for food beforehand and after the change in income. If these 2% are say before also 40% of your income, After change of your income also you spend 40% of your income for that particular purpose, food and rest. Then it is called unitary elasticity. The proportion of amount you spend for the food, sir, for rent is now decreasing to 35% because of change in income. Then it means less than unitary elasticity. Less than unitary. As here, this one is greater. And in recreation, earlier you spend only 20%, now you are spending 25% of your income, increased income. Then you are happy to spend this money, right? So, this is called more than unitary. Elasticity of demand with respect to the income can be studied in these three angles, where the proportion of income spent is going to be discussed, not income spent. If the proportion of income spent on goods remains the same proportion of the if the proportion of income spent on goods remains the same, even income increases, then it is called unitary. Example is for this one. If the proportion of income spent on the good increases as income increases, then it is called more than unitary. It's called more than unitary, coming under recreation. If the proportion of income spent on a goods decreases as income rises, but the goods consumption is decreased, then it is called less than unitary, like rent. Okay, hope you could understand the income elasticity with the three propositions. In your text, this theory is there, but this number is coined by myself. So, for the better understanding, you can convert that into number. So, I made this number to make you understand the logic, the theoretical logic easily. Come on, make a note of it. Income and demand. If the percentage, see, elasticity of demand with respect to the income, what is the formula? Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by, okay, percentage change in price, sorry, income. So, this is income, this is percentage change in demand. Most of the cases, this will be positive number. Usually number, signs are not matter here. But anyhow, it shows a positive, it means direct relationship. In case of elasticity of demand with respect to the price, it will show negative sign, represents indirect relationship. Okay. Demand increases 5% and income increases 10%, then the elasticity of income is, apply this formula, 5% divided by 10%, the answer being 0.5. This is called elasticity of income. And first one. Second one being income changes 10, demand changes 20, then EI, elasticity of income, is 2. And change in income being 10% and demand is totally different. This will happen. See, signs are not important. Anyhow, I have given here as negative. In bracket means negative. Okay. Demand decreases, income increases. This is for inferior goods. Already we have seen the determinants of demand with respect to the income. In that case, income of the consumer. If the commodity being inferior, then the relationship between inverse, right? If the commodity being normal, it will be handled differently. If the commodity being luxury, it will be handled separately. If the commodity being inferior, like bajra, okay, some millets, pearl millet, like, right? So, in those cases, the income increases, quantity demanded will be negative, roadside street foods. So, we just started eating the roadside street foods because of the fund problem. Once we are capable of spending, we'll just go for restaurants and we spend lavishly. It's also possible, right? So it's also possible. And the spending in the restaurant will be increasing if the income increases. Else, you will just spend more on the street side food. Income increases if cut short the spending in the roadside food, because that's inferior. Here you will have the negative relationship. Okay, so three: normal goods, luxury goods, inferior goods. In case of normal goods, the elasticity of income will be gradually increasing, right? Like wheat. Anyhow, wheat bread or chapati, roti, whatever it may be, you consume four. Because of increased income, you will not increase your consumption of wheat breads, but you will go for more quality wheat product. 1 kg wheat, 40 rupees. Now you go for purchasing the same 1 kg for 50 rupees, because quality product. Such a change will be there, but not tremendous change. This is called normal goods. And in case of luxury goods, mobile and AC or any other luxury item, you think TV, Android TV. If the price is very lesser today, offer price, 30% offer, 40% offer, great day. Okay, Independence Day, lots of offer announced by Flipkart and Amazon now and then, New Year sale. Because of that day, we started purchasing all the luxury items in that day because of savings the money. Then even small change in the price will have small change in income will have more influence over the price. That is called luxury goods like television. These are the three varieties of items we have to study. Sometimes we don't have change. Buttons can be linked with salt. Okay. So you don't spend more money for the salt, right? Whether the price increases or not, you have to purchase a salt the same quantity, not more or less. Similarly, dress buttons. Okay, very rare. What's the use at all? And if both are same, then it's called unitary rare situation. So these are the features we have to understand for the demand for the goods with respect to the income. So first three aspects are the most important: normal goods, luxury goods, inferior goods. Normal and luxury both are showing the positive relationship, and in case of inferior goods, it will have the negative relationship. Right. In the case of normal, elasticity of income is normal only. In the case of luxury, high elasticity will be there. And to have some more variance, there may be no change at all possible in some sort of goods like buttons and salt. And to understand what is called unitary income elasticity, I have given the last aspect here. This is the last aspect. Is that okay? Clear? Both are same. Come on, make a note of it.